Brown Mokgotsi, he's a typical liar. Brown Mokgotsi is like a man who has the PhD or a degree or some sort of becoming a very qualified liar. Just imagine the man has sworn in an affidavit of saying that he will speak the truth and nothing but the truth. But when Brown Mokgotsi went there, just wasted time for the Madlanga Commission because there was nothing truthful that he has said there. The man was only there to protect his skin, to protect his relationship with the former police minister, Senzo Mchunu, and to protect his relationship with his allegedly former partner or his partner in crime, Vusimuzi Matala. Because what he was doing there, he wanted to divert now the focus of the commissioners of saying that, no, but Brown, this is your evidence, we'll take your evidence and we'll run with it. But he was questioned to say that, bring the evidence. Let us see what do you have tangible so that we'll take this as the truth. But he failed whatsoever, claiming that these, what he has shared is the testimony that he has received through the phone call from Vusimuzi Matlala in prison. So he was just sharing the information about some corruption activities that the likes of the National Commissioner Fanny Masomula with Bheki had, right? So Bheki was implicated. I want us to talk about him because Bheki, I don't know why he went there to the Haro Committee of Parliament, and he just after the interviews and the testimony that he's given, he appeared to be now the hero of some sort. So Bheki too, he lied. He is a liar too. Not only him, these people, they lie to protect their bosses and their handlers, right? Let us start here.
It seems to me that there are initial questions that the council at the Madlanga Commission hopefully raises today with Brown Mokgotsi. The first set of questions are the origins questions. Brown Mokgotsi claims that he was part of the self-defense units of the African National Congress in and around Mahikeng. The first question is, how old is Brown? How old are you, Brown Mokgotsi? If you were in a self-defense unit in Mahikeng, who was the commander? As far as I understand the history of those units, they never operated in the old Bophuthatswana. There were activities in the university, and Brown, you did not go to that university of Bophuthatswana. But the self-defense units of Mahikeng, I'm sure there were MK activities, but if you were there, please, he must answer, who was his commander? How did he train? Who were his fellow unit members? And what missions did they get involved in? Very important. The second set of questions that Mokgotsi has to tell us is, when he was recruited as an informer, was he facing a criminal charge? What was that criminal charge? Who are these fellow criminals that he was selling out? He was informing the police on. And the third set of questions, if he is an agent of crime intelligence, where did he train? Which college? What were the courses? What were the courses of his training? Where I'm standing, the chap looks like a sophisticated, foreign-trained agent. We are told he's got competency on 7 foreign languages. He must explain how he got that training. Which college, which crime intelligence operations and courses did he go through? Very, very important. South Africans, it is his style. You must understand this. It is a style of an information peddler that you must think he's a fool, because then he's always around you collecting information. You don't take him serious. You don't think there are consequences to his constant presence. There are always these characters in the leadership circles particularly in the mass democratic movement, as it was called then, they always find their way in important rooms. You don't know what they are about. You don't know how they make a living. Who do they work for? Where do they work? But they are there. They are always willing to do the dirty work. They'll even pour drinks for the leadership. But they are always able to be in important rooms. And because they are in important rooms, they benefit from sensitive information that is half the time accurate. And they are able to pull strings between important actors because of this significance of information. But you need a training for that type of activity.
Brown Mokgotsi said he was a member of Umkhonto weSizwe operative in the SDU, which means Self-Defense Unit. And he was asked, do you know that Umkhonto weSizwe was disbanded in 1993 by the African National Congress? And he responded and said that, no, I'm aware of that.
Wait for my question. Were you ever an Umkhonto weSizwe operative?
Yes, in the SDU, that's correct. Umkhonto weSizwe had SDU, Self-Defense Unit.
Yes. Do you know that Umkhonto weSizwe was disbanded in 1993?
Yes, I'm aware.
Yes. So, as a 13-year-old, you would have been an Umkhonto weSizwe operative in the SDU in 1993, as a 13-year-old?
No, I was not 13 years old. I know you, Commissioner, you are bringing it on the basis of my birthday era. I was not actually born in 1979. I was born in 1977.
So that's another lie in your affidavit.
No.
When you said you were born in August 1979. That's another lie.
No, Commissioner, it's not a lie. Commissioner, my ID number, my date of birth in the Home Affairs, even my mother knows. I was born in 1977. It is just an era of 1979 from the Home Affairs. And from the Home Affairs, Commissioner, we have tried in so many ways to rectify that. But the moment, you cannot say, I was born in 1979, and then when someone wants your ID number, then you put 1977.
Mr. Mokgotsi, it's your affidavit which you signed, and you say in that affidavit, I was born in August 1979.
That's correct, Commissioner. It is
so that is incorrect. You were not born in August 1979.
I was born, it's not that it's incorrect. I'm saying due to the ID number, my ID number, is incorrect from the Home Affairs.
So there was an error that was made by Home Affairs. Even his mama knows that was not his original birth year, but that it was changed by Home Affairs, meaning he's older than 18 years. Just added 2 years on top, meaning that he joined Umkhonto weSizwe when he was around about 15 years, right? And he was told, man, that, do you know that Umkhonto weSizwe was disbanded in 1993 when you were 13 years or when he was 15 years? And they were argued to say that he was recruited. He was now working as an agent, as a middleman, right, to serve in the office of suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. So he spoke a lot of things, by the way, and providing no evidence or whatsoever. That is what was needed, to provide evidence. Tata Mkhwanazi and Zulu King Misizulu were recruited by the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. Oh, I was like, what? And as they were recruited, there was a coal mine in Richards Bay. A Richards Bay coal terminal were under threat of a closure. And they said that these two, now when it comes to the Zulu King, Mrs. Zulu, and when it comes to Tata Mkhwanazi, they were recruited, right, to safeguard this now mine for some personal gains, right, because they are the spies, right, and it backfired. He was told to say that Brown, in Richards Bay, there is no mine like that.
You mentioned yesterday a coal mine in Richards Bay. There is no coal mine in Richards Bay,
It's correct.
but you mentioned a coal mine.
Yeah, I can rephrase and put it in proper context. The coal mine is in Mpumalanga. I wanted to say the end route, the route that is utilized is the Richards Bay one. Thank you so much.
Well, then let me tell you that the Richards Bay coal terminal is owned by a consortium of more than 10 different mining companies, each of whom have their own export quota. Did you know that?
I'm not aware of that.
So that if you or your handler were genuinely investigating a CIA plot through General Mkonazi to protect Israeli interests in the whole of the export, the offtake from the Richards Bay coal terminal, you'd have been able to discover the facts that I've just given you in 5 minutes on the internet. So you really wouldn't have come up with a story which is self-evidently absurd.
Commissioners, if whatever senior counsel has been saying comes from the internet, then, investigation doesn't work like that. And I'm disappointed, senior counsel, that with those powerful facts that may be written by someone who has interest, then they are presented before the commission, and I do not know. In fact, whatever that you've been saying, it means, remember what I said in my world, I can put up a website, take my people in 5 days and give you the opposite what's written.
I want to put to you that if you actually investigated the notion that one, the Richards Bay coal terminal was under threat of being shut down, that two, it was controlled by Israeli interests, it would take you less than 5 minutes to realize it was absurd. And I want to put to you that the fact that you didn't take those 5 minutes, you or your handler, to do it, suggests that you weren't actually investigating these allegations.
Commissioners, investigation of that kind, we don't go to the internet.
Oh, this man is a qualified liar. That is Brown for you. Mogote also claimed that there was some bribe money received by National Commissioner Fani Masumula and former Minister Bheki Cele. According to him, this is what Vusumuzi Matlala has told him, that he paid millions to both Cele and Masumula in gratification for scoring a 360 million subs tender. You remember that tender that ended up with Vusumuzi Matlala's company. So Masumula expected, according to now Brown Mogote, 25 million from this ordeal, right? And Matlala gave him only 5 million. Bheki Cele wanted 10 million, as he was the one who officiated or who helped Vusumuzi Matlala to now secure the tender. He wanted 10 million, Mogote says, and he was only given 2 million. So when Bheki Cele was asked about his relationship with Vusumuzi Matlala.
But you know Kat Matlala?
Very well.
Okay.
I think
When did you first meet Kat Matlala?
I met Kat Matlala in December
Of?
last year,
2024,
2024. That's the
before
first
the directive.
That's the first time I met Kat Matlala.
I only met the guy in December 2024. Before that, I never knew the man. Yo, Bheki Cele lied here. You know why I say the Bheki Cele lied? It's because Kat Matlala and Bheki Cele, they come way back, right? Brown Mogote said that former Minister Bheki Cele met Matlala in 2018 on April 29, 2024. Matlala's company, Medicare 24 in Tshwane District, received a tender approved and awarded 18 June 2024. Bheki Cele says that 5 months later, he was introduced to Vusumuzi Matlala by Bongani, the son of the taxi boss in KZN. Cele was accused of visiting Matlala's house by Brown Mogote Vusimuzi Cat Matlala was planning to fund Senzo Mchunu of him wanting to become the deputy president or the president of the ANC. And Bheki alluded, meaning that he had some information of some sort about this character of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala. No wonder when Brian Mokgotsi said that the same man Bheki was visiting Cat at his house, at his compound. On the 16th of May, right, Bheki tried to call Matlala 10 times. He said, I was checking him if he has arrived in Durban for our meeting because he wanted to update me and to brief me that Minister Senzo Mchunu wanted to arrest him, Bheki. So now this shows the way Bheki put Senzo Mchunu under the bus. It shows that their relationship, they are not in good terms as the ANC comrades. And you can't tell me that when the whole person who is affiliated with some of the big names in the organization, in the ANC, from 2017 when they were working with the CR17 files, also Vusimuzi Cat Matlala was there, was involved, and also now it is alleged that he wanted also to fund Senzo Mchunu. You can't say now as Bheki, the whole comrade, one of the biggest names in the ANC, you come and claim that such a person you don't know. You only started to see this person in 2024, right? It can't be. Bheki lied under oath. Him and Brown are just cooking in the same pot. The pot that produces lies and not being truthful. This made me to understand is that the corrupt business people like Brian Mokgotsi and the corrupt politicians like Bheki, those people, they will do everything to serve their skin and to appear righteous before the people, as if there was nothing wrong from their part, right? Big question, how did Vusimuzi Cat Matlala obtain that tender? It was said that Bheki vouched for him. It's not that corruption. But Bheki today, he comes and says that I never knew the man. I only knew him after some time when the police were just in pursuit of him. Guess what? The time that now Vusimuzi Cat Matlala was arrested, he called Bheki, or Bheki called him. There was a communication between the two. If they were not so close like that, why would you be arrested and on your list, the first few people you'll call is Bheki? It means we are close with Bheki. I don't buy into that scam. So what's your take on this? Please leave a comment on the section below, and don't forget, please, to subscribe to this YouTube political channel, and please don't forget that you and I will meet on the next video.